This is going to be a bit of a look back video on 2024, as that was my first year running Gringo Media as a business. I kind of started the idea in 2023. I did a couple of videos for friends and acquaintances, but that was still more as this is a fun hobby. 2024 was the year I registered myself as a business and was like, yes, I want to make this a full-time career at some point. And that was the start of me working towards that. So, gonna go over how much I earned, lessons I learned, some of the highs and lows of the year, all of that, and things I want to take with me into 2025 and how I'm going to use that to help me achieve the goal of making this my full-time job. I think the biggest thing is I had no immediate instant success. I feel like there's a lot of videos on YouTube that give this idea that I can start today and in a month or two I will be raking in the cash, I will be instantly successful. And that's not the case for the vast majority of people. It's a slow process. There's a lot of lessons to be learned on the way, and that's the case with Gringo Media. Total income for 2024 was €2,114.88. That was done across 7 paid client projects, and there was 1 free project. 8 projects in total for the year, 7 being paid. Of that, there were about 4 deals that weren't successful, which came to about €2,500 that I could have earned but didn't, due to them not being closed for a variety of reasons, but it is what it is. It was a year filled with highs and lows. So my wife gave birth to our son. That was a massive highlight of the year for me. He's brought us both tremendous amounts of joy, and throughout the year I've built up and expanded my network, which has been great. I've connected with more filmmakers in Ireland across social media, and hopefully soon in person as well when things work out, which again is brilliant. Something I've wanted to do for a long time is to have a bigger network here in Ireland, as a lot of the content I was seeing online was people in the States or 1 or 2 in other EU countries. So having people that I could potentially meet up with in person in Ireland is fantastic. One of the biggest lows of the year was about a month before my son was born. I lost a retainer client that I'd had for a couple of months at that point. It was a bit of a shock, as I really wasn't expecting it. I hadn't had any negative feedback from them. If anything, it had only been positive. And I felt that I'd been improving what I was able to deliver for them. I was going above and beyond with the deliverables, but life happens. I do have a hypothesis as to why that may have happened. I'll never know if it's exactly the reason why, as I was given a different reason. But yeah, I'll get into that in the next section. But again, one of the lows was just money coming in wasn't consistent. I didn't have that retainer client to know that I had a certain amount of money coming in every month. There was long periods of no work or potentially getting something to do, and then it falling through for whatever reason, which is never great, but I've learned some lessons from that. So back to the retainer client thing, it kind of falls into the next point, which was around the start of the year. end of January, beginning of Feb, somewhere around there, fully went for changing my pricing structure. When I was doing this as a hobby, I'd priced myself on an hourly rate, which was very, very unsustainable. I would need to be working myself to death every day to be able to cover my costs and pay for things if I wanted this to be full-time, or even just to make up the difference in money lost from not working a day at my 9 to 5. So I went for a full and half day rate for breaking up filming and then editing, and then any cost for rental of equipment, etc. And when I made that suggestion that, look, my prices have changed, they're slightly more expensive, but this is why, I'm not going to change my prices now, but just giving you a bit of a heads up that this will eventually change. It was kind of after that when, a couple of weeks after that actually, when I got the message from the client saying, hey, sorry about that, we won't be needing your services anymore. And it might not be the reason, but I will never know 100%. But yeah, that happened. But I think one of the biggest lessons I learned, 2 big lessons I learned actually in 2024 was I need to set better goals that I can track. I'd had a couple goals, but I failed to track them properly. Or if I was tracking them, the goal was too big, and then not achieving it feels worse than when you've got this really big goal and then you fail. Fail's a terrible word, but you don't fully achieve a certain section of it, or you don't fully achieve the goal. It can make you feel like you failed when actually you haven't. You've done a lot to get there, but the goal was just so big and it hadn't been broken down into more manageable chunks that it felt worse than what it actually was. So I want to break up my goals a little bit more and track them better so that I can look back and I can see with a clearer mind the progress that I've made, and in the moment as well I'll be able to see, yeah, I've progressed from A to B to C to D, instead of trying to say, oh, I didn't make it from A to F. Yeah. Another one was just, there were times where I did get a little bit complacent, especially like, oh, it's okay, I've got this money coming in, I should be fine. And I wasn't pushing myself enough to try and improve or get that next client, or get that next retainer client, so that I can be more financially secure. I don't have that stress that if something did happen, like losing a retainer client a month before my son is born, I don't have that big of a burden on my shoulders. I'm like, oh jeez, what am I going to do now? I've just lost this client. I wasn't expecting that, or I didn't have anything else planned in the books. What am I going to do? That complacency is something I want to, I suppose kind of ties into with better goals tracking and all that, but I want to try my best to be constantly doing something to work towards improving. I think it's the 1% better every day. Be better than what I was yesterday. And that's how I'm going to tackle 2025 and break down that goal of becoming a full-time filmmaker, building my company up so that I can quit my current job and I can do what I love and provide for my family with a job that I love doing. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I look forward to this year and providing more content here on YouTube. It's going to be great. And thank you very much for making it this far. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, it helps a lot. And if you really feel like it, a subscribe will be fantastic. I'm looking to get to that 1,000 subscribers for monetization. so that next year if I do this video, I can include some YouTube ad revenue to my total income. That would be a dream come true. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.